One of the parables of Jesus, one of the most famous ones indeed, concerned the parable of the sower. Jesus says there's a very bad farmer who, rather than checking out the soil and then planting, goes ahead and plants and then afterwards figures out the quality of the soil. And so the seed falls on different types of soil. For example, some of the seed falls actually on decent soil. This has a little clay in it, but it's reasonable soil. And when it's planted there, it grows, and there's a tremendous crop. It's very productive. Other seed, Jesus says, lands on rock. And that's, rocks are fine, but when a seed lands on a rock, it is exposed so that a bird can come and eat it. You don't want that to happen to your seeds. And then there are those seeds that land on soil that looks like it's fine. But as in my garden, some of the soil is actually covering rock. And something may spring up, but very quickly the sun comes out and fries it. Very disconcerting. And then there is that seed that falls in the midst of the weeds. I spend a lot of time thinking about weeds because, frankly, I've got a lot of weeds in my garden. And, a weed is simply a flower that decided to grow someplace it didn't belong, like these violets here are very pretty, but they're weeds. Anyway, he says the seed lands here, and what happens is that the seed is snuffed out. Now, he also talks about how these different types of soil are different types of people. There are those people who hear the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it grows in their heart, and they respond to it. And they live very productive lives of justice and mercy and trust in God. And they share that faith. It's not only they themselves who have faith, but they share it widely with others. They invite others to have a similar trust, a similar mercy, a similar quest for social justice. For other people, they're less productive. They may talk about having faith. They may think they have faith, but the fact of the matter is they're not productive type of people. Some of them have been besieged by weeds, which is to say, worry over wealth. They have too much. They fear that it will be lost, and so they're very careful in their faith. Other people, well, they respond to the gospel, things are good, but there's hardship. And the first time something goes wrong, well, their faith collapses, it implodes. That's probably the type of person that always makes me feel the most sad. Other persons hear the gospel, but no sooner have they heard it, but something or somebody comes along and snatches it away from them. Jesus says this is Satan. Satan takes a variety of forms. There are a lot of people I know whose hearts are hard, and they resist the gospel for a variety of reasons. So there are different types of soil, and a lot of times the interpretation of a parable, and Jesus himself provides this, is that, well, people are different types of soil, and we're invited to do an inventory to make sure that we are productive soil, the kind of soil in which the kingdom or the realm of God can grow. But the story is primarily, in its original form, about the sower. Jesus did ministry, but not everybody responded to his ministry, to the good news of the gospel, to the love of God, to the calling to create a new heaven and a new earth, to join God in the effort to create the realm of God. There were a lot of people who responded, and when they responded, they continued to respond and grow, and other people joined with them. Really a mighty and great host. And yet, there are a lot of other people who did not respond for a variety of reasons, and they produced no faith. Jesus shared the gospel, and his disciples wondered, why aren't these people responding to you, Lord? And he gave them the parable of the sower. We should also consider, dear friends, that for you and for me, we are also called on to share the good news of Jesus Christ. And the fact of the matter is that we share that good news. We invite people to trust God. We invite them to church. We invite them into our lives, into our missions and ministries, into our service to others. We plant the seed. It goes every direction, but we have no guarantee as to what will happen to the seed. And yet that's immaterial, isn't it? We continue to share the good news of Jesus, and we do so without worrying about the outcomes. We leave that to God. Amen.